What's up, everyone? This is... I think that guy just died and respawned here. This is the Destroyer229, and welcome back to the Bird and the Beast. Now, last time, I showed you guys the construction of the golems, as well as the various, well, the few changes that happened during Phase 4. In this update, you might be wondering, well, it says your last one was Phase 4, why does this one say Phase 6? And the reason for that is because I actually missed Phase 5. And I do apologize for that. Things have been a little bit busy. Well, with family, the holidays, and also the fact that this was also a time for me to meet up with my friends and, geez, that's quite a few gnome copters. Meet up with my friends and do a bit more recording done in Mario Party. But I haven't been around to do as much work on the Bird and the Beast as I would have liked to. And because of that, I missed out on Phase 5. Now, there weren't really that many changes in Phase 5. Really, the only thing that happened was that at the Quartermaster, Tier 3 was released. But there was no real changes. Nothing new happened with the caravans except what happens with the battle plans. And there really wasn't that many... There was nothing that really changed, so you guys didn't miss too much. For the voting boards, I'm not sure exactly what both options were, but for one of the options, it was to get for players on their respective teams, to gather 10% more divine energy. So it was a very defensive way, and so now players will gather divine energy quicker. I imagine that the other option was a bit more offensive, but whatever. Jeez, that's a lot of gnome copters. What is with this? But let's go ahead and go with what Phase 6 offers. So with Phase 6 in the voting, there are the two options that are available for what you can vote on are you can vote for a reduced frequency of godless attacks. Now, that, like the Battle of Lumbridge, there are various random events that happen. The most common is godless ambushers attacking caravans. Now, they usually attack more frequently whoever has more control in that world. Jeez, that's a whole lot of gnome copters. Whoever has more nodes and more control in the world will typically be the target of more godless attacks. I usually notice that whenever, like, it's more Bandos oriented, there'll be godless in that world will more attack Bandos caravans. Here in my home world, I've seen nothing except godless attacking Armadale's caravans. So whoever has more control is the target of more attacks. But with this vote, the convoys and buildings are 15% less likely to be ambushed by the godless. So I would imagine that would be a good thing for Armadale, not so much for Bandos. The other option is a greater benefit from holding a majority of buildings. So passive benefits from having buildings are boosted by 10%. So, like, the combat monolith will give you more of a boost. The divine siphon will be more effective. And I would imagine that the spider hole would summon another unit. That's what my guess would be. Now, the battle plans, I did actually manage to look up what was the previous army management. Now, for the last phase, recruitment was either... Well, recruitment was to what to focus new recruits on. It was either attack and offense, which was a huge boost to ambushers and a small boost to bodyguards. Defense and protection, which was a huge boost in bodyguards and a small boost in morale. There's logistics and provision, which was a small boost to ambushers and a huge boost to mages. And the final one was support and healing. which was a huge boost to morale and a small boost to mages. For Bandos, support and healing 1. Which is strange because morale still doesn't have anything. I'm not sure if that's a glitch or what. And the winning phase for the previous section, for phase 4, because I also looked that up, was the duel arena. So the results from that was that for Bandos, they got a small number of ambushers and a huge boost to morale. Which really makes me question, because morale was not really hit that much. At least I don't think it was from the other options. So why that's still at 0, I honestly don't know. But for this phase's army management, we need to search further afield for troops. So, what you can vote for this week are the Karumja Docks, which is a broad range of troops, so I'm guessing equal recruitment across all 3. The Far West, near the Elves, so it's a focus on bodyguards and battle mages. You can vote for Guerrillas from Mauritania, which is a focus on ambushers and battle mages. Or the Fremennik to the north, which is a focus on bodyguards and a boost to morale. I actually will not be voting on any of those, at least right now. Now, one final thing to mention, and this was something new for Phase 6, is that the amount of energy that you can get has increased. Initially, you can only get 30,000 energy per day, and that's all you could get to, like, increase your score and things like that. To get renown, votes, and things like that. I said things like that twice. Oh, well. You could still work on things, you could still attack caravans, but you'd be less effective and you wouldn't really gain much. Though you could still gain sacred metal fragments. Well, that's been increased from 30,000 to 45,000. So now you can get a lot more renown, you can get more of the rewards, so overall it's a very nice addition. But looking at the rewards, I'm going to go ahead and buy the War Priest Helm and the Cape. I would also, Tier 3, want to buy this ability, Transfigure. Now, Transfigure is an ultimate ability, which means you need to have your adrenaline bar up to 100%. Now, this ability stuns you for 6 seconds, but when the stun ends, you get healed for 250% of any damage taken, and you're immune to stuns for 15 seconds. I can see where this could be helpful, but it's risk reward, because during that 6 seconds, you can't attack, and if you die in that time, well, that's not going to help you. But helps to have the abilities. So go ahead and buy that. And then emotes. Oh wow, I can actually purchase Bandos' Might 3. I didn't think I'd had enough for that. Sweet! So that's all of the emotes, all the sacred armor, and all of the abilities. Now to use up the rest of my renown on XP lamps. Let's see. Oh, you must use or destroy the lamp before you purchasing another. Well, that's lame. Oh, but wait a minute. Claim rewards. Since the medium XP lamp is 7,000 renown, and I currently have 8,500, maybe it wouldn't be a bad thing to just get another two small lamps. So, XP ahoy! Okay, the medium XP lamp, what do I want to spend this on? Well, I do kind of need fishing to go up, so I'll go ahead and get that. 9,000 experience for fishing. The small lamp, go ahead for fishing. 4,500. I'm not sure if that was a good choice or not. Maybe it's the exact same ratio, so maybe it doesn't matter. But go ahead and get the final thing for fishing. And there we go. So that's all the rewards that I wanted on the Bandos side, actually. I actually managed to get everything I wanted. Sweet. And now, we must bid the Bandos side adieu. Because, what's the word I'm looking for? Discreetly, in huge quotes, mentioned in the previous phases, my true allegiance in this battle is to Armadil. I chose Bandos simply for the rewards. So now that we have all the rewards, it's time that we switch over to our true allegiance. Kara-Meir, I would like to switch to Armadil.
I can change your allegiance to that of Armadil. Are you sure you want this?
You are still very quiet. Changing sides will remove all your renowned, unused votes and voting history. I really do not care that much for the Bandosian side. So whatever they decide is all on them. But yes, I would like to change sides.
I'll contact my friends in Armadil's tower. By the time you arrive, they will acknowledge your loyalty.
Jeez, I could barely even hear you. But now we are part of Armadil. So let's go ahead and teleport using his token. And here we are, at Armadil's Tower. Now where we are currently located, we are actually in the clan camp south of Falador. So this would be where you would go, like, to start a clan and to go to your clan citadel. Strangely enough, the citadels are actually they're built from Armadil's units. Basically, the citadels are huge. They're huge castles that are on floating islands in the sky, and they were originally built by followers of Armadil. So here, it's actually very fitting that Armadil would choose this location to be where his base of operations are. Very interesting. Then again, like, I've already seen this. But now that we are at the site, we can go ahead and explore a little bit. Let's see, that's the war map, that's the quartermaster, that's the record keeper, voting board. Actually, I do want to go here. Manage lectern. Oh man, people are coordinating an attack on the Bandosian side. This is great. Okay, holy crap! Okay! Well, Armadil has a huge amount of bodyguards, a very large amount of ambushers, battle mages are also pretty high, and maxed morale! And Bandos has absolutely no morale, and his things are really low. Why is Bandos's things just so low? Maybe it's just because his side is losing, or something, I don't know. But for what we want to vote for in the army management, I guess a broad range of troops wouldn't be such a bad idea. Go and claim the XP, and what do I want to put it in? Where's fishing? There's fishing. Wow, I've got quite a bit of bonus XP for that. Let's put in divination again, since that is my lowest skill. Alright. So, I'm going at this for about 15 minutes. I guess I can look at the strategy board to see what exactly is Armadil's strategy right now. So, Armadil's current strategy is longer expeditions, and they construct buildings faster. I'm down with that. So that's distance. For defense, their current strategy are tougher bodyguards to defend the caravans better, as opposed to larger caravans that can hold more divine energy. I suppose that would be the better choice for Armadillo simply because he is leading right now. The current standings at this moment, Bandos currently has 21,558,652 renown. Armadillo has 35,218,194 energy. I think I said renown before, but I meant energy. Which means Armadillo is currently leading by 13,659,542. So, I think tougher bodyguards would be the smarter way to go for Armadillo, simply because he doesn't really need large caravans. He just needs to defend them, just so that he can keep on a steady stream. For divination, longer expeditions and faster gatherers, as opposed to just shorter expeditions. Either way would work, so, man, let's just go with the majority. Why not? And then there's risk. So, risk, increased convoy numbers, a high risk of ambush, or standard convoy frequency, the lower risk. So, what they currently have is that they vote for more convoys, which attract more opponent attention. I'm guessing that that means the convoys come at a higher frequency, but that means the godless attacks them more, as opposed to standard frequency with a lower chance of the godless coming. I'll actually vote against it just to be away from the godless. But that is what we have voted for. And I suppose that will do it for this update. I wouldn't mind trying to talk to some of the personalities here. But, I mean, we've already gone through a lot of the talking. Well, I suppose it couldn't hurt to talk to the record keeper. Or perhaps either the record keeper or the recruiter. Really, the recruiter, I don't think would be that much. I mean, it seems like they would function exactly the same as the Bandos one. Let's see the backstory of the record keeper.
Hello there. What can I do for you?
It's giving me tutorial stuff. Well, I already know all these different things. Tell me about yourself.
Me? I was a guardian once. Didn't work out in the long term. The Guardians of Armadillo went to see the bit when the big fellow left. The disciples in the Temple of Ikov even let the staff get stolen.
Yeah, that is one of the shortcomings of the Guardians of Armadillo. Perhaps I'll explain a little bit more after I let this guy finish.
So I spent some time in a warband. But honestly, it felt like a bandit group hiding behind a name. Armadillo coming back changed all that. I serve him directly now, and my heart is full.
Okay. So what he says, he mentions two different organizations. The Guardians of Armadillo and Warbands. And more gnome copters! Jeez! The Guardians of Armadillo were in charge of safeguarding the Staff of Armadillo, which is in itself a god artifact. Something that Zamorak used to gain godhood. That along with the Stone of Jas. Now, what happens is that in the quest Temple of Ikov, there are two possible outcomes. Either you steal the Staff of Armadillo for Lucian, who you don't really know at the time. Or you betray Lucian and you let the Guardians hold on to the staff. However, one of Lucian's followers, whose name escapes me, steals the staff anyway. So regardless, by the time the quest While Guthix Sleeps starts, Lucian has the Staff of Armadillo. So the Guardians failed in protecting it. Now he also mentions warbands. Now warbands are a diversion and distraction within the wilderness. Also, I could probably just get out of his options now.
Come back anytime.
He seems like a nice chap. But the war bands, they're what's called a diversion and distraction, which is like a semi-frequent event that occurs within the game. Now, the war bands work in the wilderness, which is pure PvP area. And what the war bands do is that there are different bandits that try to gain, basically, I guess they work under the banner of a god, but I mean, they don't really have that much allegiance, and the record keeper actually mentions that. I mean, they just seem more like bandits, and that's really all that the warbands really are. They're just a bunch of bandits who jump on the train of the gods are coming back. They just jump on the bandwagon and go with it, and they use that as an excuse to pillage and steal, murder, whatever, in the wilderness. Now, the reason why it's a diversion and distraction is that there's actually a high reward for that. If you manage to take down the camp, then you can loot the camp and get a huge amount of experience in many different skills. Most of them very money heavy, or time consuming. There's farming, there's smithing, construction, herb lore. Those are just 4 out of quite a few that are, oh man, this is lagging, that you can get as rewards. However, it is almost impossible to just simply take it down on your own, or to even be there on your own. Usually, you have to have a team. There's usually some sort of group or team that goes in, whether you work with them or against them. Now, these are a team of actual players, and do keep in mind, this is the wilderness, where you can be attacked by anyone, assuming you're within a certain combat range and how deep in the wilderness you are. So it's a huge, high-risk, high-reward. If you die in the wilderness, you lose everything. You lose all your items, including what you could potentially loot. So it's one of those things in which it's very high risk, high reward, but depending on whether or not you can get a stable group and work together and fend off any sort of attack from opposing teams that may come in and just kill you right out. Just steal your stuff. So that's basically the warbands and also the Guardians of Armadyl. However, that will do it for this update. So, join me next time, where hopefully I don't forget to do an update for the phase. So until next time, everyone, take care.